uncharacteristic of one of your reputation.
Show immediately reminds me that Werner Herzog is no longer going to be playing a character in it, and for making me sad, it gets a sin. A bunch of logos that tell me that I'm watching a Star Wars property, in case I already didn't know. Yo, I know we need to see this wretched hive of scum and villainy, but can we get on with it? This walk is taking longer than Sir Lancelot's run up to Swamp Castle. Oh look, a Banksy. Oh, let's get ready to Gamorrean grumble! Also, I'm pretty sure this fight sequence is only here because Jon Favreau has a boxing ring boner. And far be it for me to criticize another person's boner, but really means all to the rest of this episode.
I'm told you know where to find them.
Man, they sure are able to have this conversation in hushed tones despite the raging crowd all around them. Cheating. These scruffy-looking nerf herders seriously try to get into a fist fight with a fucking Mandalorian, despite seeing him ice all those henchmen seconds ago. Also, why would anyone punch Mando in his helmet? Why would anyone punch anyone's helmet? It's a fucking helmet! I know Mando has the armor and has a few weapons, but in the previous episodes, I don't recall him being fucking Inspector Gadget.
I've spent much time on Tatooine. I've never seen a Mandalorian there.
I feel like we've all spent way too much time on Tatooine in this franchise. There's a ton of world out there left to explore, but yeah, let's go back to Luke's boring planet again.
Cut me down!
That wasn't part of the deal.
No, but you did say.
I promise you will not die by my hand.
And I'm pretty sure that was your hand that fired the blaster and allowed all the wild mutts to come kill Gor Koresh. What the f*** is up with this score? Sounds more like the ending to Jingle All the Way than an episode of The Mandalorian.
Sorry, gang. Come on. You know he doesn't like droids.
I'm sure Pelimato might recall Mando's dislike of droids, but they've only met once, and she's acting like this is a lifetime of experiences they share together.
Oh, so he likes droids now. Well, you heard him. Give it a once-over.
Just because IG-11 sacrificed itself in the previous episode, Mando's cool with all droids now? It's like me meeting Mark Cuban and deciding all rich white men are okay.
I just can't get good help anymore. I don't even know who to complain to.
I love Amy Sedaris, and I appreciate the humor in this episode. I also think that these characters wouldn't talk like this. Sorry. I think the show is trying to jam in hokey dialogue as a throwback. But the worst part of those classic movies was the hokey dialogue.
You got Mos Eisley, Mos Espa, and up around this region, Mos Pelgo.
Yeah, but what happened to Mos Def? I miss that guy much more than Mos Pelgo. I have to say, this is so like an old school Western that I have to take a sin off. It's comforting and exciting and suspenseful all at the same time. And for capturing that classic feeling, remove the sin. But also, these townsfolk are totally giving away the fact that their marshal has Mando armor. If they just gone about their business, he probably would have moved on and not caused any trouble. These townfolks are dicks to their leadership, man. Considering Mando keeps telling everyone he has been quested to take care of the child, he sure does just leave it behind a lot where it could easily be kidnapped or killed. Why wouldn't he have just left it with Pelimato? She's taken good care of it in the past. Okay, I understand the homage to Westerns, but did that sound like actual f***ing spurs? Play it again. Ain't no f***ing spurs on that costume, man. If you're gonna go this over the top, just give him a poncho and a cigar for f***'s sake. Cue fanboys orgasms now.
I figure only one of us walking out of here. But then I see the little guy, and I think maybe I picked you wrong.
Assumptions.
Around here, I'm the one tells folks what to do.
Round here, I'm the one tells folks to do cliche.
Take it off.
And do it nice and slow, all sexy-like. Isn't it about the time that the bartender crawls beneath the counter? I mean, he's pretty much directly in the line of fire. It's really nice of this underground creature to make its way through town in a straight path and right through the center so as not to destroy any of the buildings. Also, show does not have a no banthas were harmed during this production warning. Comparisons.
The town was on its last legs. It started after we got news of the Death Star blowing up. The second one, that is.
Celebrating the deaths of all those innocent independent contractors. Also, what is up with this episode having impossible conversations in extremely loud environments?
And then I was saved.
Wait, he just noticed this now? How did he not see that giant automobile in the distance a long time ago?
My treasure bought me more than a full water skin. It bought my freedom.
But only because the miners went to the Stormtrooper School of Aiming at things and didn't shoot you in your arm, neck, stomach, or legs. Timothy Bobafant. Also, I don't know what's more surprising, that the Jawas had Mandalorian armor, or that they had a helmet that fit Cobb Vanth so perfectly.
What am I supposed to do with this?
You drink it.
It stinks.
Hey, the Tusken Raiders have their own version of Malort. I bet there's a subreddit devoted to Raider Face.
Now, how do we kill it?
If he could speak English while making the hand gestures and they still understood what he was saying, then what were all the grunts about? But also, the fact that the show took the time to hire a deaf actor to create this Tuscan sign language for Raider Nation is pretty cool and worthy of a sin-off.
They say it lives in there.
Didn't Cobb already know that, though? He brought Mando all the way out here, didn't he?
This here is a Mandalorian. You know what that means?
Oh, we've heard the stories.
Then you know how good they are at killing.
But he doesn't, because he just said he's only heard stories. Maybe do a little more listening discount, Raylan Givens.
A crate dragon has been peeling off our pack animals and sometimes taking our mining haul with it.
I know this is a bothersome phenomenon, but it doesn't sound like the dragon has been killing anyone in the town. In fact, the greater threat to the livelihoods of this town are the Tuscan Raiders themselves. So why is Cobb willing to risk his greatest asset in combat to get rid of this annoyance? Sure, Mando could kill him, but he's risking the entire town to combat something that isn't really the biggest threat to his community. This Tuscan Raiders meets the people of Mos Pelgo scene goes on for some time.
What are you trying to blow the whole place up?
Nice. Wouldn't be a traditional Western TV episode without a protagonist fight amongst themselves before the final act of the show cliche. Cheese and crackers, there's more unnecessary walking in this episode than in the entirety of the Lord of the Rings franchise. Sure, now is the best time to take a drink of this foul juice. Does he even know if it's nutritious or it you up like peyote?
The Tuscans say the belly is the only weak spot.
I guess that would be a fair assumption, but since they've never killed one of these, how do they know that? Sand people yell at this dragon to wake him up when he's peacefully hibernating, and did I miss who the actual antagonist is here? This f***ing plan.
I'm gonna hit it.
No, wait. We only have one shot.
Then maybe it would have been a good idea to set the charges closer to the entrance of the cave? By the way, nice job helping with this f***ing operation, Mr. Being who could probably end this evil bastard by waving your hands a few times before multiple people were killed.
I don't think it's dead.
Well, not with that attitude, it's not.
Let's get after it.
Yes, after we've stood on the sidelines while this futile explosive trick was tried and failed. We can do it!
There he is.
Yeah, but how? How did he get from the top of the mountain to here without any one of you knowing? I don't know. The Beskar armor is impervious to the dragon goo, and he survived being swallowed by that and this explosive worked, even though the other one didn't. And I guess this is a long-winded way of saying Mando survives this. Hey, what a twist! It's that guy. And yeah, I know that everyone thinks it's Boba Fett because of the actor or whatever, but some of us that just watch this show haven't witnessed every single piece of Star Wars history multiple times. So this isn't a twist to us. It's just confusion about why I'm watching this random bald guy look at the sunsets. I want to like this show. I do. But how can I when clearly no one cares about a child's eye protection? There's so much sand and wind. Very dangerous. Being horny. I'm no expert on crash analysis, but I find it hard to believe that the child stops rolling after a few tumbles. They were flying at top speed. Shouldn't the kid be like a green bowling ball tumbling tush over teeth 16 miles into the desert? Again, no expert.
Wait. Don't hurt the child.
Considering the crash moments ago should have eviscerated Greeny's tiny bones, I don't think Exhaust Pipe Eyes cares all that much about hurting things.
If you put one mark on him, there's no place you will be able to hide from me.
But 2 marks means you could hide in plain sight, so don't ask about that because it really ruins the threat. Acting casual about straight up murder.
Looks like someone's gonna be going home empty-handed.
Silly Pelly. Ants don't have hands. Tarsal claws, sure, but hands? Do we have a Mando walks into a bar cliche? Cause I feel like we need a Mando walks into a bar cliche. I believe Mando is strong and tough and has a constitution score of at least 20. I do. But this man has been hauling equipment across a hot landscape for at least 12 minutes. And I'll be damned if anyone wouldn't immediately drop it when they arrive at a location where lounging is encouraged. Show off.
You cover his call this round. He said.
Believing anyone involved in a card game. I'm calling Mando bull.
What's the bet?
500.
Grabbing exact change.
More importantly, did you bring back any of that dragon meat?
And despite that hunk of meat being nowhere on his person earlier, he surprisingly, somehow, impossibly, and inexplicably has meat.
If you jump into hyperspace, they'll die.
Oh. I will give all the sins back if he drinks the lizard boba tea right now.
No.
Okay, so technically that wasn't drinking them all. But here, you murderous, adorable little bastard. Sleeping through your alarm.
Carson, can you switch over to channel 2?
Come on, Carl. Work on your subtlety. How about a code or something? It will take a moment to analyze your ping. Also, release the purple unicorn. That's going to work so much better. Trust me.
We will fire. I repeat, we will fire.
They will not. Oh, look, a massive canyon that can be used to outmaneuver those who are chasing you. What a unique idea that we have never seen before.
Hold on.
I mean, thank God you told Lizzie Salamander to hold on. Before this, she was all like, wee, no hands. TVSins? Because strapping your cargo in during flight is apparently a man don't. Pause the show. Everyone keeping track of Mando's weaknesses needs time to write plummeting into ice cave / body check onto flight console. And yeah, it's shocking when you consider all the other damage he's taken and managed to stay conscious, but that's a separate list.
Gotta get you some blankets. Keep you warm.
Or turn on the heater.
What the hell are you doing?
Right? This is not the time for karaoke. So the salamander frog lady grabs her precious offspring and heads off into the frigid cold without a clue of dangers or direction, because that seems like the best way to preserve your lineage. Also, if Mando is tracking a heat source here, how would a footstep in snow maintain heat like this? Does the creature perspire some sort of heat-trapping slime? And if so, why would she ever worry about staying warm in the first place? Bobbing for Boba, otherwise known as Boba Fetch. How many spiders are too many spiders here? Why wait to run? Sure, the frog woman isn't ready yet, but she's putting wet clothes over her wet body, so she's gonna freeze to death anyway. She survives? Well, f that.
Go! 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 Back to the ship!
Super great advice. Curious why this wasn't the instinct 30 seconds ago. But hey, dramatic tension isn't as fun if we're not running from spiders directly on our heels, rather than, oh, I don't know, having a pretty great lead. I realize now that when I said fire would help, that I wasn't specific. I mean actual flames, Mando, not pew-pew weaponry firing. At this point, they are surrounded by T4 tarantulas, and while I want them to survive, they should be pounced upon and bitten dozens of times over. Look at them all. But also, the way this show is falling into an X-Files-y monster of the week thing is kind of amazing, and continues to make this show one of the best things out. So, take your sin off. The only reason I'm sinning this moment is because it took him this damn long to get out the blowtorch. And yes, I know I sinned him for not doing it earlier, and now I'm sinning him again for doing it, and you might say that's not fair. To which I would reply, hey, welcome to the channel, hope you enjoy your stay. And then I'm adding another one for putting the blowtorch away again, because I can. This little is just thinking about how to eat all these spiders, and if their flesh is as delicious after a blaster has ripped it apart. This area should be littered now with dead, crispy ice spiders, and on behalf of the child who would eat them all, I sin you for omitting Mando's climb over their pyre. It's pretty cool that all their gunfire hits only the tiny targets and not the massive ship behind it. I see their lasers are set to incredible arachnid accuracy. Inaccuracy?
You have an arrest warrant for the abduction of prisoner X6911.
Nice. How has no one said put down your weapon yet? For being the rescuing sort, they sure are okay with leaving people to die. Don't you be fooled. This little f***er is thinking about cracking off a mammoth spider leg as a snack, because apparently to him, the entire universe is one big episode of the Great Bithish Baking Show. Or, you know, fly out the way the other guys came in. I'm going to be ticked if this show somehow retcons this whole thing into some sort of plot where he's actually saving these eggs and not eating them. Because honestly, the child who, even after told not to, will continue to eat your babies with a smile is exactly the kind of Star Wars content I'm here for. But since I can't know for sure, 1 minute of stuff I've already seen followed by another 30 seconds of unnecessary shiny chrome logos. Recrap a chrome goes? Starting your Star Wars while orbiting a planetscape cliche. Cuddling with cream of offspring soup. Also, show gives us the How Are You Even Sleeping All-Stars, featuring child not in a car seat, clutching an aquarium of your potential offspring, and piloting a spaceship while wearing a heavy helmet. I'm not saying any one of these wouldn't be possible. I'm just saying to calculate the odds of all three of them happening at the same time might require consulting with Nate Silver.
Dank Varric.
Taking the meme lord's name in vain. Dank makes the best memes. These tense moments would be much more concerning if I weren't 100% sure that everyone survives this.
Come up here, I need your hands.
Waiting till you're already plummeting to ask for assistance. Granted, I'm not totally aware of how cargo holds work in this piece of junk, but you'd think while dealing with such precious cargo, you might want to find a better solution than vaguely leaning it against the wall.
This lever needs to stay back. Can you do that?
Mando-splaining. I just want to point out that someone in this universe knits sweaters, and somehow these spiky arms move through the sleeve without tearing up these perfect cable knit patterns. But seriously, how is the child still in his seat right now? He's not buckled. He should be flinging around the cockpit like a tiny Yoda ball. Was he born with a heavy case of magnet ass?
Here we go. Nice and easy.
Seriously? You're going to use a walker-type machine in the water? I've seen how clumsy those are. You're one somewhat sturdy piece of Traskian kelp away from that thing taking a dive. Also, this is the angle of the ship, yet no one is mashed to the interior of the windshield in comedic fashion. Amphiboscope? Honey? Where's Liam?
there?
How does he even know which one? I mean, Larry Lizamander could easily be gesturing to any number of the buildings in this direction, as there seem to be a great many options. And we already know Mando doesn't speak Frogese. This food delivery sphincter reminds me, considering how every planet must have different food and water, how does anyone manage to travel without spending the entire first week carbonated to the toilet? And are toilets across the universe the same? That's a lot of alien butthole varieties to accommodate. Grabbing a man's chowder hose without explicit consent. If Yoda-ish Bambino has a chest burster scene in the next episode, I'm taking back all the sins. Or adding all the sins. My point is alien.
You ever see a mama core eat?
No, but I've seen a Papa Core make a bad pun. Is it anything like that? My friend bought a $10 stroller for his kid from Target, and it had those little flip brakes on the wheels to keep it from moving. And my point is, this thing can freaking levitate. So some sort of braking apparatus to keep this from happening shouldn't be a stretch.
Best car is ours.
How though? Even if you drown him, he's enclosed with a Mama Core. So Mama Core eats Mando and magically poops out intact Beskar? Is that the plan? Deus Ex Mandalorian. Also, why has Mando pretty much turned into a fuddy-duddy? I mean, look at him hanging out above water like a guy who hasn't leapt into the mouth of a dragon with a bomb earlier this week. How is he not diving to the bottom of the boat to retrieve the child right now? He's fucking Mando, man. He needs no air.
You do not cover your face. You are not Mandalorian.
Gatekeeping. Planets with only one sun.
You killed my brother. Now, I'm gonna kill your pet.
Jeez, Blue Mando group out here Deus Ex Machina-ing every 5 minutes like it's their job.
I was hoping you would help me by Creed.
Thing I said to my older brother at a CD shop in 1997 because I didn't have any money somehow makes it into the show. Little did I know, I was building my own prison.
I can lead you to one of their kind. But first, we need your help on our mission.
What? Before Mando can move on to the next part of his quest, he needs to take on another side quest of helping someone who is also in need of fulfilling their quest? This is so surprising.
Troopers?
And they couldn't hit the side of a bantha.
Yeah, we know. Troopers suck at aiming. So why is it ever tough to take anything from them? Why are you waiting for this sneak attack plan when you could just go take the ship now? There's nothing you do later with 50 stormtroopers on guard that you couldn't have done now with a night watch of at least half that.
Something's come up.
Treating strangers like grandparents. A full half minute of Star Wars spaceship porn. I mean, I know this is Star Wars and everything, but do we have to watch the entire takeoff routine? None of these troopers even pretend to see this fog grenade. And more importantly, you just wasted a good fog grenade when they were never going to hit you anyway. Also, there were at least 10 of these morons when the grenade went off, but your heat vision is only picking up 4 now?
Close the door. Sir, close the door!
Considering your sole purpose was to hold them off, how is this not something you already did during that lengthy watching the elevator indicators while the tension builds cliche?
This is more than I signed up for.
Right, but really this entire fight has been far too easy and your presence has been largely unneeded. So we're all very disappointed in this and are going to need you to Mando up and move on to the boss fight.
There is something I need if I am to rule Mandalore, something that was once mine. They know where it is, and soon so will I.
Pronoun gaming your own Easter eggs. Cool scene and all, but you couldn't have just rolled those things all the way down that hall from the other side like you did with the fog grenade earlier?
Take the Foundling to the city of Caladan on the forest planet of Corvus. There you will find Ahsoka Tano. Tell her you were sent by Bo-Katan.
Okay, but who was taking notes? Cause that was a lot.
Thank you for watching him.
And not feeding him to your quickly insanely fast-growing tadpole child, because honestly, fair's fair. I haven't seen a vehicle take this much damage and still find its way back to life since the Herbie movies. Is this ship going to develop a personality and do a reboot with Lindsay Lohan in a few years called Razor Crest Fully Loaded? Cause sin.
I finally know where I'm taking you, but it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Disney could just cut this line into the end of every single episode of this show, and I'm not sure anyone would even know the difference.
This asset was of extreme importance to me.
This was actually an outtake from the end of the Jack Reacher movie, but since Werner Herzog had dressed up like an ex-Imperial commander for that shoot for some reason, Jon Favreau decided to use it in this show. These previously on segments at the beginning of each episode are getting so long that at some point they're going to be 40% of the actual show. Wait, this is a Star Wars property?
Did you get the wire out?
Sure, this is f***ing adorable, but show spends far too much time on this gag when we absolutely know Baby Yoda has no chance of fixing this issue. Not only does Baby Yoda survive this, he comes out completely unscathed.
You know, I think we need to visit some friends for repairs.
Of course you do. This f***ing series has more side quests than Red Dead Redemption 2. Generic random species doing villainy things so we can reintroduce Cara Dune to everyone is generic and random. Also, how has the Armorer's Lair not been raided before now? Or why hasn't Marshal Haywire confiscated all the Mandalorian bounty? There's apparently a mint down there. Also, how the ever-loving is this ferret/weasel/possum still alive down here? The raid on this lair happened at least weeks, if not months ago. So this poor bastard should have already starved to death before it was threatened by these ass faces. Deus Ex Chronica. Bringing a knife to a blaster fight. This goofball keeps shooting at the body of his friend instead of aiming anywhere else where he could actually injure Marshal Angel Dust. I just want to point out that she had a lethal weapon the entire time, but just wanted to wrestle to the point of nearly dying, which is dumb. Oh great, it's a remake of that racist Bruce Willis movie from 1998. Just what I expected as a detour on the way to get Yodes back to his Jedi brethren. Did Mando even call ahead to tell them he was coming, or did they just sense a disturbance in the Force or some bullshit? Wow, they've been gone long enough for Grief's beard to go completely gray? Or did his Just for Men supply run out?
Looks like someone could use some repairs.
I just realized Mando is like the kid who's been at college for the past 2 months and comes home with all the dirty laundry he needs his mom to do for him.
I'll get my best people on it.
And luckily, they happen to be sitting right over there. One of them's an Imperial spy, but let me tell you, he's so good at fixing power converters that it's worth the risk.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a hint of romance between these two? Which makes me wonder, do Mandalorians have sex? It's not like they're Jedi and can't distract themselves. As long as he keeps his helmet on and protection on his other helmet, I think he should be DTF.
Where we're going, you don't want to take a child, trust me.
Yeah, but he doesn't know Mando is going to help them storm the base, so why dump the kid so early? Unless it's only to mine some laughs out of the macaroon theft. Also, Mando allows this even though the child has been in a ton of dangerous situations in this series. Hell, he may even be able to help, like he's done several times already. And there just happens to be one empty desk for the child to sit at. Also, this tiny town has this many kids that are roughly the same age to fill the class, and none of them are aliens? And this little dude gets exactly what he deserves for eating macaroons in class. The C3 teacher unit really needs to get control of its student population. Stealing. Also kids.
But over on this side is the problem.
It's an old Imperial base.
And this never came up in conversation between Mando and his other Mandalins during the entire first season?
Mando, I just want them off my planet.
But how does destroying the base guarantee that? If anything, it might make the Fallen Empire target their sights even more on Navarro. Looks like they're not even really bothering Grief and company in the town. Based on this and the events from the Marshal, these towns don't seem to know who their enemy is, and who's just a nuisance they should learn to live with. Also, Wendy didn't give Grief the clearance to call him Mando anyway. That's like someone calling me Ronnie, and I did not consent to that, Carlos.
The whole base is powered by a reactor.
Having an understandable conversation in a normal voice while speeding down the ravine in a convertible. Also, how do they know this? Does this mean they've scouted this before? And if so, why didn't they do something about it then? Sure, Mando helped swing things a bit in their favor, but surely there's 1 or 2 people in town that could be just as helpful. Also, I have to ask again, did they know Mando was coming? Because what if he didn't? This seems more like a set-aside adventure in case Mando came to visit, and not something all that important. Kind of like if your friends came to visit you for Christmas and you took them to those lights or whatever holiday touristy nonsense happens in your town. You would never go there on your own, but if you have visitors, it's all of a sudden something you have to do.
Empty base, huh?
They did say there was a skeleton crew, and so far this ain't that many guards, so cool your jetpack, Massaholian. I'm totally sure this overhead shot of Kara's dunes adds something to the story.
It's a Mint-Truxler Marauder.
I would say Marauder shadowing here just as a joke, but this is such obvious foreshadowing that they might as well have literally said, look, it's our eventual escape vehicle from this predicament. And for that obviousness, this show gets an extra 3 sins. Oh man, if they screw up this heating core, the Balrog is gonna be pissed.
Me? Yes, you.
Okay, I guess I understand why they forced the Mithril to drive them out here just as extra punishment, but why are they trusting him to complete a very serious mission? How do they know he knows what to do? Aren't these heroes used to doing stuff themselves?
There's no guardrail on this.
Inside jokes.
She's gonna blow!
Maybe in the fan fiction that I'm currently working on, but I don't think Disney Plus is going to allow that stuff on one of their flagship properties.
How long do we have?
10 minutes.
Give or take a few side quests within this side quest, and honestly, that's really a ridiculous estimate considering I've never done this before. Anyway, I've been meaning to ask you about your social media comments. Also, running down a corridor in a Star Wars property cliche. After this whole jeans guy mistake, Jon Favreau made all of them dress as stormtroopers, even the grip set designers and catering staff, which sucks. Have you ever tried to plate a dozen veggie burritos and pita chips for a cast with all that armor on?
What the?
Guillermo del Toro's The Mandalorian.
I don't like this.
I prefer my peep shows to be much more animated. It's like they're not even trying to activate my lightsaber.
I highly doubt we'll find a donor with a higher M count, though.
Mother flippin' midichlorians. Mother flippin' midichlorians. Mother chlorians. At some point I really do need to have someone explain how this armor works.
All right, Baby girl, let's see what you got.
Ah, the Star Wars universe, where everyone can operate any vehicle by pushing a few buttons and engaging in positive self-talk. Pew pew pew! Pew pew! I know we always make fun of the stormtroopers being terrible with guns, but why are these two even hanging around at this point? They won't be able to take out the Marauder with 2 guns, and there's no one else in their general area. No one will know they're lying if they tell their superiors they were knocked out or something. Sit this one out. Live another day. Try papayas. Mad Max Fiery Road. Why wouldn't these have already taken off? Why didn't they start with these?
Yes! We did it!
This stillweed celebrates so prematurely that I half expect Marshall Dune to tell him it's all right. Happens to a lot of guys.
What is going on back there?
You want to come back here and try this? Be my guest.
Having a conversation while under attack.
We're almost there!
Great! Let's bring the 3 heavily armed TIE fighters directly into our peaceful village full of civilians. Holy balls! Not only was Mando able to get the child, board his ship, and get in perfect position for this attack, his heavily damaged ship was fixed in no time. I'm sorry, there's only so much preciousness I can take before I have to remove a sin. I did enjoy this episode, but there are so many beats that you can see coming a mile away, like this little spit-up joke, that I have to ding it. It's my job. This is the way. Also, how is he still chomping away on those macaroons? We've seen this thing take down an entire frog in just a few seconds. That little bit of food should have been devoured hours ago, along with the silver sleeve.
Says here you're from Alderaan. Did you lose anyone?
You know, when the entire planet exploded a few years ago? Any casualties to relations, or was the family on vacation and Lost in Paradise?
What do you have for me?
The device has been planted as you requested.
So did they just have this guy planted on Navarro just on the off chance Mando would come to have his ship repaired? Stretching your manpower pretty thin if you're sticking spies on every possible location he would visit, and you're hoping you have put them in the right position.
The tracking beacon has been installed on the Razor Crest.
Doesn't it seem like tracking beacons are only installed when it's super convenient in this universe? If there are so many of those things, why not just use them all the time?
This is the way.
Really get the sense that this is how Jon Favreau responds to anyone that dares to suggest that these previously on segments go on for way too long.
Your bravery will not be forgotten.
Give me a f***ing break. Mando charged the stormtroopers, sure, but as we'll see soon, his Beskar armor can repel a flippin' lightsaber. So is it really that impressive that he wandered into puny blaster fire to throw those bombs a few episodes ago? Is the giant bell necessary? This town is 1 street and a few houses, basically the size of Bucksnort, Tennessee. I think someone could really just shout out from the gate that someone's coming and everyone would hear. At what point do you realize this blaster fire is useless on someone with shiny dildos that deflect them? And why wouldn't they try to flank her, considering the frontal assault clearly isn't working? You know, I've never understood why experienced Jedi don't do this force manipulation more often. It would be much easier to take out several enemies by felling a bunch of dead trees or something, right? Seems like this lightsaber show is honestly just showing off. Also, tree murder. And you might say it was already dead, in which case I will pivot to overkill.
I've lost visual. Scan for movement.
You know, this is really something you should have been doing from the start, considering your field of vision is severely limited because of your poor goggle choices and terrible aim.
Show yourself, Jedi.
Why did Ahsoka wait until now to attack the village? The magistrate has been in power for a presumably long time, given the state of the townsfolk and the environment. Did she have to wait until almost everyone was dead or suffering before she moved on this?
I've been expecting you.
Oh, so this is why no one is shooting at her right now, because they need to talk. In which case, why send out a team to kill her in the first place? Let her waltz to the wall and wax poetic about whatever.
The lives of these citizens mean nothing to me.
Then why are any of them still alive? What's the point of this entire outpost if they're not doing anything other than torturing villagers and pruning hedges? Also, how is there a conversation even happening right now when everyone is extremely far apart and surrounded by airborne detritus and dense fog? Everyone should be yelling!
Surrender or face the consequences. You have 1 day to decide.
The f*** is 1 day gonna do to change anything? Does Ahsoka really think the magistrate will have a change of heart after sleeping on this? Hell, if anything, she's got the advantage right now. Charge! Mando eventually gets pissed that Baby Yoda yanks his ball, but why? He willingly gave it to the kid to play with back in the first season, and it doesn't look like it's essential for the whatchamacallit to do the thingamadoodle. Also, why is he just now noticing the ball on the lever when he's been sitting up front for this entire journey from Navarro to Corvus? Also, ball shadowing. Mando flew right over the town just a few seconds ago, so why'd he park all the way out here in the boonies? Especially when the first thing they do is look for the town.
This needs to stay in the ship.
So obviously I'll put it in my pocket rather than walk the 30 feet back to the ship and put it where it belongs.
Not much to see out here.
The Corvus Station. Turtlenecks. I find it hard to believe, given what we know about the child's appetite, that he wouldn't be jumping out of that bag and scarfing down everything on the street like the samples at Costco.
Pardon me, vendor.
He just called that woman vendor. Who refers to a person by their occupation, especially if they're a vendor? That would be like someone coming up to me and saying, "Pardon me, YouTuber and podcaster, what knight lives in that castle?" What's the point of these double-sealed doors when the wall is barely 8 feet tall and easily scalable? Okay, the guards are there, but if they're taken out, this place is easy peasy to overtake. So easy that even I could do it. I mean, I can't right now because I'm waiting for my pot pie to cool, and then I have to take the crust off, and then I separate it out and eat the turkey first, but, you know, later maybe.
You are a Mandalorian?
I mean, what gave it away?
Beskar.
Pure Beskar.
I've played enough video games to know the tells of a boss fight. In this case, it's the loot drop containing a weapon that perfectly matches your armor. Dead giveaway and total bullshit, but you don't care because matching set! Also, how does this lady just happen to have a spear made out of one of the rarest metals in the galaxy? She might as well have a bunch of vibranium in her basement. Also, why does the magistrate think this is a fair payment for offing a freaking Jedi? I know Mandalorians are big on Beskar, but he's got it all over his body, and this thing is really just a really strong pointy object. It doesn't even pew-pew.
Well, these are the coordinates.
The magistrate gave him exact coordinates? If they know where Ahsoka is this precisely, how haven't they mounted an attack on her before now? I know she's a dope-ass Jedi, but they could strike while she's asleep or something. Wow, the scope has a built-in zoom and enhance cliché that can be activated by the click of a button. Okay, why does Ahsoka attack Mando immediately? Maybe because Mandalorians and Jedi have been enemies for a long time? Okay, but she's friendly with Bo-Katan, who's also a Mandalorian, so what gives with that? And she must sense the presence of the child, given how powerful she is with the Force, so why didn't she ask any questions before trying to carve the poor bastard up?
Bo-Katan sent me.
You know her, right? Middle name Ra, loves warm weather, wearing linen shorts, shuffleboard. Some people will spend the next 2 minutes of this episode excitedly waiting for all of our green bean questions to be answered. I, however, will ponder this Bruce Almighty moon and worry about anyone living on this planet for much longer.
Grogu?
Yes.
Grogu? Grogu? Come the f*** on. His name might as well be Carl. Grogu.
Can he still wield the Force?
Did that not come up during your psychic conversation?
The Jedi Order fell a long time ago.
Well, sure, but you are aware that a Jedi and his friends destroyed 2 Death Stars after that, right? And Luke is presumably training new kids as you guys speak. Seriously, how does Ahsoka not know anything about what's going on with her brethren these days? Don't they send out some sort of newsletter via Force frequencies across the galaxy every few months? Check your spam folder. Passing stones.
I want to see if he'll listen to you.
That would be a first.
Oh, shut up, Mando. The kid obeyed earlier, went to his car seat without rolling his eyes or anything. Also, I've never seen a Jedi training session that's so unbelievably boring. Even Rey's obstacle course from Rise of the Skywalker was more entertaining.
You cannot train him.
Obvious candidate to train a recruit with special abilities refuses to train that recruit cliché.
And I'll help you with your problem. If you see to it that Grogu is properly trained.
Found the side quest. Phew, I was worried there for a second.
A Mandalorian and a Jedi? They'll never see it coming.
Well, sure, until you start attacking them. Really, what's the benefit of the surprise collaboration after you enter the city gates? Why bother having this super secure entrance if you're just going to nakedly walk out here at the first sign of trouble? Even Winston hid behind his shit in John Wick 3 while the real fighters did the real fighting. Okay, this is some awesome Kurosawa imagery, and I appreciate that this episode wears its influences directly on the sleeves of its Beskar armor rather than obliquely nodding to them. 1 cent off.
Your bounty hunter failed.
If that were the case, wouldn't she have brought a part of the armor that was a little more impressive? Maybe like the helmet, or even a codpiece? Deus Ex Mandalorica. I'm confused. Is Ahsoka a powerful Jedi or just Batman on a different planet? Don't get me wrong, this fight is rad as hell. But even if the Magistrate is a trained fighter from the Clone Wars, how's she standing any chance against a super powerful Jedi in a f***ing sword fight?
Who do you think's gonna win? Could be your side, could be my side.
I mean, the dialogue here is riveting, you guys. Could be that either side could win. Possibly.
You and I were a lot alike.
For instance, we both like watching rom-coms and playing Candy Crush in addition to ruthlessly killing people. Want to get brunch sometime? Jeez, what a dill hole. Not only should he know he'd be too slow for Mando's draw, what does he think one blaster shot would do to him? Does he not see all that Beskar?
Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
And pause for fanboy applause. No, I'm not applauding because I could give a flip all about Rebels or Clone Wars or some canon comic that was written in 1983 by George Lucas's 12-year-old second cousin. I'm watching the freaking Mandalorian, man. I don't want to do homework to be able to follow along.
May the Force be with you.
Is it just me or was Ahsoka super not helpful in this episode? She gave the kid the name, which I guess is fine, but it's also f***ing Grogu. She attacked Mando, used him to get into the village and take what she wanted from the Magistrate, then sent him on yet another side quest to figure out Baby Yoda. Grogu's purpose. She's as useless as a green milk-producing mammary on a male thalassiren. Oh yeah, it's that one mercenary that was in the first season. It was kind of cool, but she was killed by the end of the episode, and there have been so many other important characters introduced since then, so let's run that back for sure.
Bo-Katan sent me to talk to you.
The best part about having a ubiquitous helmet on the show's protagonist is that you can freely play around with ADR for these previously on segments. Mando said this line way after this point in the fight during the last episode. You know it, we know it, and most importantly, he knows it. It's called Lucasfilm Limited, so when do we actually reach the limit? Is it soon?
Grogu.
So you're still going with Grogu then? Look, SW, we're the internet. We know things. We basically saved that Sonic movie.
Give me the ball.
This is admittedly an adorable scene, but why is he starting this just now, when they're about to land on Tython? It had to be at least a moderately long trip from Corvus, right? Wouldn't Mando start trying this playtime along the way?
You can have it, just like before.
I'm sure it will be completely fine rehashing the name response ball training parts of the last episode for the first 4 minutes of this episode, since, you know, there's gotta be at least an hour of good episode left, right?
When the nice lady said you had training,
The nice lady.
We're gonna find that place you belong, and they're gonna take real good care of you.
It really bugs me how much Mando takes characters at their word. Ahsoka didn't really do to help him last episode except for letting him take the pointy Beskar thingy. She could have told him to go anywhere in the galaxy and his trusting ass would have hopped on his ship and been on his way, despite this being his only source of information. I always thought bounty hunters would be a lot savvier.
This is Tython.
What? Since when has Mando gone directly from one place to another without a detour/side quest distracting him? He didn't get a distress call from Han and Chewie while they were capturing a Rathtar or something along the way?
Understand?
He does not. Wait, is this what they renamed The Rise of Skywalker while I wasn't paying attention?
Looks like that's the magic rock I'm supposed to take you to down there.
And I found it within seconds of entering the planet's atmosphere. Lucky me. Ahsoka didn't give me coordinates, landmarks, or even general directions as to which hemisphere this is on, but my trusty old digital battleship computer gave me the exact location for some reason. Also, sure, it could be the right one, but if this is a Jedi-centric planet, there could be a bunch more of these things, right? It's like approaching Earth, seeing an Applebee's and saying, well, that's definitely the correct Applebee's. I know I'm channeling Auntie Edna here, but how does the jetpack not set Mando's cape on fire? If you had a jetpack, wouldn't you say, f the cape, probably too dangerous?
I guess this is it.
I'll just walk you across the areola here and set you on the nipple, and we'll do our best to figure out how any of this works.
Does this look Jedi to you?
That's racist.
Maybe there's some kind of control or something.
Yes, nothing funnier than the old guy tries to find the on button for a rock routine. I'll assume Boba Fett picked up the location tracker signal that Gideon's minions put on the Razor Crest a few episodes ago, but how the did he get here so much faster than the Imperial goons? They're all traveling in hyperdrive, right?
I'll see if I can buy you some time.
Against the one person you saw exit the ship? Wouldn't it be smarter to just stick here and defend the rock while the kid's in sight? Seriously, why would he even briefly abandon his sole mission that he's had for nearly the entire series and is presumably near the end of?
If you want my armor, you'll have to peel it off my dead body.
If you want my such and such, you'll have to take it from my dead such and such cliche.
I'm a simple man making his way through the galaxy. Like my father before me.
Callbacks.
The Beskar belongs to the Mandalorians. It was looted from us during the Purge.
Well, considering all laws are suspended during that time, I think your case is pretty weak. Just be glad you weren't murdered while out trying to shoplift a candy bar.
Point that gun away from the kid, or I'll drop you both where you stand.
You can maybe drop him where he stands, but she's technically already on the ground, so really the best you can do is slump her where she lays.
Tell her to drop the gun.
After you put down the jetpack.
Same time.
Stand down.
And she does, well before he even moves to take off the jetpack. Show doesn't know how to same time correctly.
You look like you've just seen a ghost.
Nonsense. I don't see Ezra, Sabine, or Chopper anywhere around here. Also, of all the things to say about a helmeted fundamentalist Mandalorian, describing his expression is really one of the most futile endeavors.
In my case, Boba Fett.
You named your abs of steel Boba Fett?
And I am now in his service.
Shouldn't you say you're in his Boba debt? Or are you like his Boba Pet? Does he take you to the Boba Vet? When he plays his guitar for you, does he use all the Boba Frets?
Say we're offering a fair deal under the circumstances.
This deal is a trade-off of Boba's armor for their help in protecting Grogu. And it is a pretty good deal, but it was never agreed to by Mando. So why did Boba and Fennec decide to help him after the events of the episode? Boba just takes that later on despite no acknowledgement that Mando was cool with it. The fact that Mando turns and runs instead of grabbing his jetpack that's right at his feet is dumb on so many levels I'm exhausted even thinking about it. This is apparently the only parking lot on this entire planet. I guess they don't charge for the first hour or something. Apparently, when you need Mando taken out of the battle for a bit, you can just have him make a third attempt at something that he's already failed at. But this time it knocks him out for a bit, you know, for reasons. Seriously, this is pretty much the rest of the episode. Pew, 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 pew. Boba hits someone. Mando tries to break into the force beam. Pew, 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 pew. Gideon smirks. Pew, pew, pew. Adorable child gets cuffed. What I'm trying to say about this tiny battle is Imperial skip. Despite having a clear view of the field, Agent May takes out individual troopers instead of the ones setting up the heavy artillery. We get it. Stormtroopers suck at aiming even when they have high-caliber automatic weaponry. They are 100% the Keystone Cops of the Star Wars universe. Also, can you graduate from both the Stormtrooper School of Aiming at Things and the Rickon Stark School of Running Away from Things? Because these guys have a double major. Having time to tap your enemy on the shoulder when there are several others all around you with guns. Speaking of which, bringing in anything except the gun you're already holding right in your hands and could fire from a distance instead of running up to the guy with the sunflower hammer to a gunfight. Yo, why does Mando leave his ship wide open here? Doesn't he have keyless entry or some sort of fob that can lock that shit down? Even if there weren't any intruders here, he'd have to worry about space rodents getting in the cockpit. Guess I won't be needing this anymore. I honestly can't tell if this is ripping off Iron Man's weapon or Yondu's arrow from Guardians of the Galaxy more, but it's clear that Jon Favreau definitely mixed up his iconic properties for this scene.
We have a deal.
You do not! No one shook on that shit or even verbally recognized the contract. There's no service like fan service, like no service I know. Everything about it's unappealing. Everything web traffic will allow.
Back to the ship! Back to the ship!
We've officially stalled long enough for the episode to hit 30 minutes. Our work here is done.
The kid.
But I'm still not going to grab my jetpack because climbing up and down this thing is so fun.
Have the Dark Troopers been engaged?
Of course not. We sent 2 strangely spaced out battalions of the basic white ones first, like the script required. I actually kind of dig the Dark Troopers, but why are they called troopers at all? They're clearly droids. I know dark droids doesn't sound as cool, but you could use another word for dark, like black or dim. Yeah, that's it, dim droids. And you could say cool stuff like, you'll never find a solution for my persistent dim droids. Push as hard as you like. My dim droids will never retreat.
They're back.
Who?
The Empire.
Boba Fett plays the pronoun game so that Fennec has to ask who is back. I guess to be fair, he could have been talking about John Wick, Slim Shady, or Randy Quaid's character from Independence Day. Also, no one in this Imperial ship recognizes nor tries to shoot at this iconic ship despite it being in full view of the entire crew. Oh, come on. There's no way this gear shift ball is still here, let alone easily findable. We're already crying about Baby Yoda being abducted, man. No need to twist the knife.
I need you to locate someone in the prison registry.
Wait, is this everyone in the prison registry, especially in the entire galaxy? She's really gonna scroll through all these scruffy-looking nerf herders before she gets the info to narrow it down.
Migs Mayfeld.
I know this all happened a long time ago and everything, but why does everyone in this universe speak fluent conversational English, but the text is in Arobesh?
But these stripes, I mean, there are rules I need to follow.
They have the kid.
Situational ethics. Little known fact, both of these stormtroopers were actually played by Daniel Craig.
Have you ever seen one of these?
Exposing your darksaber without explicit consent. Oh yeah, this recap totally reminds me about that episode in which Mando and Breaking Bad did the thing with the stuff and alerted the people that the whatchamacallit was happening, and so the dude went to the place for that period of time, all caught up. 27 seconds of logos for a TV show. Also, I just realized they've been spelling Star Trek wrong this whole time. Dino cranes. I'm sure he's doing some daily labor, but this doesn't look half bad for a prison. You get out into the open air, work on a project, and they even give you proper PPE. Hell, they could have frozen him in carbonite. So if I were Migs, I'd be counting my blessings.
Inmate 34667, please follow Marshal Dune to transport.
Somebody gonna tell me what's going on here?
Well, that was easy. Is this seriously all it takes to spring a prisoner? Seemed like Mando was setting us up for a f***ing heist when he asked Cara this last episode. And he didn't even know she was a marshal before he got there. So what was he gonna do if she didn't have any official Republic authority? Also, I get that Mayfeld is a cautious guy, but he's also been in prison with, I'm assuming, only men. And someone who looks like Gina Carano just showed up wanting him to follow her. Does Star Wars not understand how boners work?
Inmate 34667.
I swear to God, they refer to Migs by his inmate number so many times in the beginning of this episode. It's like they're trying to force me to memorize a phone number. And no one remembers phone numbers anymore. Oh, cool. Boba got a glow up. But seriously, there were deep scratches on that armor, including whatever chemical reaction happened while being partially digested by the Sarlacc. So how did he get this so clean in the short amount of time he's had it? Also, how'd he replace the rocket on his back? He used that sucker to blow up the stormtroopers in the last episode, so it should be disintegrated. Hell, Marshal Cobb also used it in his episode. How does this thing keep getting restored?
It was a long time ago, all right?
But you still know your Imperial clearances and protocols.
But would they still be active after being away for a long time? Seriously, I was once fired from a fast food place and couldn't get out the door because they'd already deleted my security code. In the 30 seconds it took me to get my together. Man, this show sure does love it some ascending ship porn. Whoa, how'd Migs get changed so quickly? And where do they have his clothes stored? Did they stop by a goth version of J. Crew on the way over here to pick up some duds?
They have his kid.
The little green guy?
And Mayfeld would care about this why? When he first ran into Mando and Grogu, he said this.
Me, I was never really into pets. Yeah, I didn't have the temperament.
And after that, Mando got him arrested and imprisoned in the scrapyard they just pulled him from. Why would he want to help Mando at all?
All right, but here's the thing. I can't get those coordinates unless I have access to an internal Imperial terminal.
Look, I know he's trying to dial the accent back a bit, but Bill Burr is a masshole, and it's really odd that there's an obvious masshole a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
There's nothing on Morak.
At this point in the series, hasn't Mando been proven wrong about existing places that aren't supposed to be there enough times that he wouldn't even bother with his argument anymore?
Fet. Punch in the coordinates to Morak.
Fet? Fet? Who the hell calls him Fet? Is his whole name too hard to say? Are they not on a first name basis after he pledged his fealty to Mando for this quest? Remember how pissed Han was when Finn called him Solo in The Force Awakens?
Wonder what they were finding in there.
Looks like Rhydonium.
You can tell that from a blurry hologram. Why does any vehicle in this universe have wheels? It's clear that hover technology exists and works on even the poorest planets like Tatooine or Jakku. Wheels would make everything more treacherous, especially if you're transporting a highly volatile resource. Imagine what the crew in Sorcerer would have done if they'd had access to hover technology. You think they'd be f***ing with that rotten bridge?
It's gonna be me going in alone. But say goodbye to your little green friend.
Wait, how does he know what I call my vibrator? Also, Moff Gideon's had Grogu for at least a few days now. Even if it takes a while to get where he's going, they must have extracted enough blood or stool or whatever the hell they need from him along the way to do their evil I'm just saying, Mando should have been moving much faster from the jump if he thinks he's actually going to rescue the kid. I'm not saying Cara couldn't handle her own against these two guys, but are Mando and Mayfeld not going to jump down and at least see if she needs any assistance? Also, more helmet punching. I don't care if these aren't Beskar, they should be at least somewhat protective, right? Otherwise, why the heck are they wearing them?
Just make sure you take out the rooftop gunners.
Hey, why does Mando sound the exact same in this helmet as his regular one? Are the voice modulators the same? Seems like there'd be at least a slight tonal disparity.
What's going on here?
Show decides we need to know the steps Mayfeld takes to understand the mechanics of this vehicle, and I assure you, we do not.
I'm taking this thing off.
I can't see anything.
First off, if Migs can't see anything, how does anyone see anything out of one of those helmets? Also, Migs leaves this off for the rest of the episode. And even though he's ex-Imperial and stuff, troopers are supposed to wear their helmets, right? Show could not make it more obvious that they need to easily identify these two that are dressed in identical uniforms.
I don't know how you people wear those things.
That's racist.
And by you people, I do mean Mandalorians.
Still racist.
Don't worry about the Rhydonium. As long as you drive steady, you'll get us to the refinery.
Wages of Mandalorians. Also, how the heck does Mando know that? Also, when did Star Wars become obsessed with fuel sources? The Last Jedi, Solo a Star Wars story, now this unobtainium crap? Why do we care about the fuel? Oh yeah, that's definitely necessary. There's no way these assholes can see this giant transport coming their way. Also, hey, those are villagers on this planet. Human even. Yet Mando confidently explained there was nothing on this planet a few minutes ago, despite it being habitable and honestly quite pleasant.
I'm a survivor, just like you.
Another we're not so different you and me cliche? Didn't we just get this in the Michael Biehn standoff a few episodes ago?
What the hell's that?
If that monitor was right in Mando's line of sight this whole time, how did he not see the pirates until they already jumped on the ship? Furthermore, if they heard the single pirate jump on this clearly, how did the real stormtroopers not hear 3 of these idiots jump on the roof just a few moments ago?
Are you seriously shooting a blaster in there right, don't you?
Mayfeld would be excellent at TVSins. You know, these are supposed to be pirates, which means they're looking for booty, right? So why are they just straight destroying the Juggernauts instead of taking the Rhydonium or whatever else is valuable cargo? What do they get out of just blowing this stuff up?
Mayfeld, pick it up, drive faster.
And I'm sure Migs can hear this while driving rapidly down a dirt road, while inside the cab in the middle of a pirate attack. Oh, you say that there are comms in the helmets of these trooper uniforms? Well, Migs isn't wearing his, so there. This is the 3rd round of not pirates that Mando will have to fend off. We know Mando isn't going to blow up or die here, which is to say, this battle goes on for all the some time. Yeah, totally time to celebrate since these TIE fighters are nowhere close to hitting the pirates on the initial few blasts. Migs was worried about Mando's blaster fire a few seconds ago, but he's all wine and roses when the freaking heavy artillery is opening fire at the transport carrying very unstable cargo. Yeah, don't pay any attention to the thermal detonator that was thrown. Just keep moving towards it and firing away. F***ing stormtroopers.
I can't do it, okay? We have to abort. I'm sorry.
Miggs is all worried about being recognized by this butthole, but what's the big deal? Even if he did recognize him as a field operative in a previous campaign, it was for the Empire, right? So he'd either get glad-handed or receive a nod of welcome at the most. Also, he went in there, showed his face, and is now acting super cagey. If dude didn't recognize him before, he'd be much more suspicious now. Helmet hair.
Facial scan complete.
What? Why would Mando's facial scan grant him access to classified Imperial data? Also, if this was going to be the case, then why did they need Mayfeld in the first place? They could have just questioned him about what to do back at the scrapyard and been on their way. Also, the heck is up with that mustache? Why even bother with a mustache if you're going to wear the helmet all the livelong day? You're telling me he manscapes this diligently but refuses to show that magnificent lip rug.
You're the tank troopers that delivered the shipment of Redonium.
How does this dude know that the shipment was delivered? He's been sitting here with his buddy drinking in the mess hall, and they just got here before walking straight into the room.
How about a toast to Operation Cinder?
Miggs was scared to death just a few seconds ago about this dude recognizing him, but now that he knows he's not going to be recognized, his balls drop and he decides to provoke this dillhole instead of having his drink and getting the crap out of there.
The ones who died, was it good for them?
I have to say, this scene really makes as much sense as Star-Lord punching Thanos in the face in Infinity War, which is to say it makes no sense. But I have to give it to Bill Burr for this performance. The guy has range. He's only getting more and more opportunities, so I guess I should remove a sin for this. Hang on, I just said the scene makes no sense. Add 5 more for even making me think about taking one away.
I never saw your face.
Miggs, and therefore the show, has time for this.
You get the coordinates on Moff Gideon?
We did.
What's our next move?
I don't know, but it's definitely not going straight to the coordinates and rescuing the kid because that plan has a disturbing lack of side quests involved.
Soon, he will be back with me.
Letting your enemy know you're coming for them, cliché.
Go to the planet Tython.
Oh great, thanks to this recap, we can recall how unhelpful Ahsoka's been in this entire series, and is only there so she can set herself up a spin-off. It's exactly like Nicki Minaj showing up to steal Kanye's monster track with her verse, knowing that she's just creating pub for the eventual album Pink Friday. Yep, I just compared Ahsoka Tano to Nicki Minaj.
There aren't many Jedi left.
That's okay, with advanced technology, no Jedi can ever really die. And in a pinch, we can sort of copy-paste their face on a new body for maximum impact. Not that this show would ever do anything like that. Why is Boba Fett even shooting at them right now? They definitely want Dr. Pershing alive, so what if they accidentally destroy him and his ship? I'll tell you what would happen. The creation of the greatest GIF ever, of Boba Fett performing an epic facepalm. Do you ever wonder what massive light source illuminates the spaceship porn? Yeah, me either.
Comms are down.
I'm sorry, sir. We've established in this series that everyone speaks in an American accent for some reason. I think you're looking for the J.J. Abrams trilogy. It's right down the hall.
Lower your shields.
So the ion cannon wiped out some comms, but not the very specific comms needed to hear this announcement? Neat.
I don't have a death wish. Do you?
A surprising omission for a person who, in mere moments, will brutally goad Xena with vile threats until she blasts him. Is he shocked? Horrified? Impressed? Horny? The world may never know. Wait. I know this one. 2 Mandalorians walk into a bar. The bartender turns to the first one and says, "Why the long face?" And the second one says, "Don't test us." And then the bartender says, "You mean man, don't test us." And then they kill him. Also, character walks into a saloon and everyone stops, turns, and stares cliché. Oh hey, it's 2 of the most famous and dangerous Mandalorian warriors in the galaxy, and Mando was able to locate them in record time, despite having no clue that they existed until a few episodes ago.
They took the child.
Who?
Moff Gideon.
You'll never find him.
Bo-Katan rightfully states that finding Grogu will be impossible, and then the scene goes off-roading into a bounty hunter pissing match for a few minutes. And when we finally veer back to the plot, Mando reveals he has Moff's coordinates, and my point is, why doesn't he say this here when it's relevant to their immediate conversation? You won't find him. Actually, I have the coordinates. Let's go. End scene.
Save it for the imps.
So, it's a go? So why throw the bow no to Mando in the flow, show?
You are a disgrace to your armor.
The heck is up Bo-Katan's ass about Boba Fett? Just a few episodes ago, she was all kumbaya about there being different types of Mandalorians. But she's going hard at Boba for no reason other than his voice. And even though the Stormtrooper clones were based off Jango, ain't none of them sound anything like him.
Mandalorians have been in exile from our homeworld for far too long.
Expositional motivation. Exposivation?
I will kill them off and retake what is rightfully mine.
And that is all you need to know, or not know, for now. There's plenty of time to cover any incredibly specific details about the importance of how I need to kill him and take the weapon, but I think reckless secrecy is a supremely good idea for right now. What's up with Pershing's indoor sunglasses here? Are those prescription, or is he just Corey Harding everyone in an attempt to look cool?
These are third-generation design. They are no longer suits.
They didn't even threaten Pershing or even ask for his opinion. This mother scuffer's just spouting off about the ship's logistics like he's under some sort of truth serum or something.
Where are they bivouacked?
Good lord, that is a really personal question. Have you no shame?
Casca, Fennec, Dune, and myself disembark with maximum initiative.
Phew. Good to know Bo-Katan's setting her phaser to maximum initiative. I'd hate to see how this plan would go down if she dialed that back to like, I don't know, 6.5.
Here, take his code cylinder and seal off their holding bay.
No need to talk about which buttons to press on the panel to ensure that the holding bay doors actually close. The power of the doohickey device is all you need.
This is Lambda Shuttle 2743, requesting emergency docking.
They're doing a good job pretending it's an emergency, but the imps also know that this is the shuttle that's bringing back the super important Pershing. So how do they not immediately realize something's up when a female voice is coming from a ship that was previously piloted by two dudes? Somewhere there's a Reddit thread begging to see how the TIE fighters are launched. This sends for you. And there goes Boba Fett. I understand he's not part of the ship takeover, but don't you think the plan could have included him doing a bit more to help? Oh yeah. My favorite parts of Star Wars properties are the extended blurry sequences of the protagonist easily offing these super killable stormtroopers. Dude, activating the dim droids also activates some of the gnarliest industrial music I've heard since 9 Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine. Someone said this scene needs charging station wiggle tubes that spew snow and fog. Those people were wrong. She totally kicked that dude's ass before actually killing him. What was the point? Fennec's a cold mutter scuffer, man. Are we really rooting for her?
My gun's jammed!
Holy moly, when did Blaster start jamming and running out of ammo like it did in the last episode? Those things never seem to malfunction in the hands of stormtroopers, except for, you know, when they try to aim at something. Unwelcome dim droid flare-ups. If the dim droids got this close to breaking the glass, don't you think the sudden vacuum of space would be enough to finish the job and suck Mando out along with them? This universe has more nonsensical curse words than the forking Good Place. Okay, look, an all-female takeover of this ship is the perfect, authentic antithesis to the bullshit that Marvel stuffed down our throats in Endgame, and it deserves a send-off.
Where's Gideon?
Great question. In considering the importance of your quest, you should probably leave the bridge to go look for him. I'd start in the one place you know he holds a super important tiny prisoner. But hey, you can just hang out here until the plot complexes things quite a bit for you later. What good did Shackles do for this Padawan's Jedi abilities? Sure, you see Jedi use their hands when they force push things around and stuff, but he can do all that with his mind, right? Are the hand movements essential? Like James McAvoy touching his temple to read minds in the newer X-Men movies?
Drop the blaster.
But not the Beskar Pokepole, the jetpack, or flamethrower. Those are okay.
Where is this going?
Well, given the recent announcements and the post-credit stinger I've heard is at the end of this episode, I'm going to say, let's see, carry the 1, 3, 7, divide by pi, about 47 spin-offs from the 2 seasons of this show.
I'm guessing that Bo-Katan and her boarding party have arrived at the bridge.
You know, this scene would be far more interesting if he hadn't just said,
assume that I know everything.
But now he's all,
I'm guessing.
So, do you know anything or not? Are you scary?
You see, she wants this.
I guess I'm kind of immune to the villain exposits vital information right before the final fight cliche at this point, but when it's information that we already know, it deserves an extra 5 sins.
Whoever wields this sword has the right to lay claim to the Mandalorian throne.
Well, that's just dumb. What if a Wampa picked it up and swung it around? Does that mean the Wampa would lead the Mandalorians? Is this another spin-off? A young Wampa wins the Darksaber in battle, but this time it's a dance battle. Wamp the Yard, coming to Disney Plus fall 2021. Man, Gideon just keeps whacking away despite seeing no damage being done to Mando's suit. He knows that's Beskar, right? Bo-Katan's sole mission depends on her defeating Gideon, so why is she staring out the window like she's looking for the next galactic gas station for a quick piss and greasy snack?
Why don't you kill him now and take it?
Is Moff Gideon an Empire loyalist or a merry prankster? Seems like he's more amused that he just got his ass handed to him instead of figuring out a way to turn the tides in battle.
It must be won in battle.
Rules. Oh no, the Mark 10s have invaded the ship. This is terrible news. How will they ever do?
You're about to face off with the Dark Troopers.
You said dim droids wrong.
You had your hands full with one.
Really? It took Mando less than a freaking minute to take care of that one, and now he knows how they work. Here's an idea. Grab a cylinder, pull a lever, and jettison them into space again. But this time, aim the big starship guns at them. Boom, bam, done. I am so good at Star Wars. Bad guy is suddenly armed and unwatched, despite being incredibly dangerous and the focus of all the hero's hatred up until now. Cliché. Mando has his blaster out here, even though he knows the only thing that worked last time was the Beskar spear. Seriously, I know we're all excited about this finale, but there's a lot of weird shit near the end of this sucker. The sound of this alarm seems to... Wait, is that an X-Wing? That's an X-Wing. What is Grogu sensing? Who's on the screen? Who's in the robe? Is it possible? They have a lightsaber. That is a lightsaber. That is a saber of light. The light is sabering. That is a green light saber. Look at him go. Oh, this in the force push. Oh, in the spin. Oh, he cut that thing right in half. What is he? The gloved hand. He has a gloved hand. The force push. The leg chop. He chopped off his head. He's going into the elevator. He's coming up. Why is this elevator ride taking forever? Open the elevator. I need to see. Show me. Here it comes. Yes! Get him! Get him! And then kill him! And then kill him! And then just spin around and force push and kill and slice and lightsaber and a gloved hand and it's green and a bare hand, one gloved hand, and I think I know who this is. There's only one person it could be. Show me your face! It's got to be! Almost there! It's Luke Skywalker! Whew. Well, that was one of the most satisfying fangasms ever, but like most gasms, it's being immediately followed by guilt and shame. Maybe I should rewind it, watch again, and let my proper dark side drive? All right, here we go.
Why did they stop?
Why indeed? Are you telling me the droids are force sensitive now and can tell a Jedi's on board? Allowing an infant to watch a violent show. Also allowing an infant to watch TV far too closely. That's how you develop poor vision. Return of the Red Eye. Seriously. Those dim holes have their backs to you. Why would you wait for this Jedi to come out and do all the heavy lifting when you have a distinct advantage to take these droids out? Sorry, I can't buy into that he can do all this shit with a big old robe on, no matter how badass it may be. Think about it. In every Jedi fight scene, the first thing they do is drop the robe. Even Ahsoka did it earlier in the season, and she's definitely a Jedi.
Are you a Jedi?
I'd remove all the sins from this entire season if Luke's response was something like, does a Jedi shit in the woods? I mean, why can't Mando go with the Jedi? I mean, this is the way, right? Can't they just stay together with creepy flesh puppet Luke? I'll just point out that Grogs wasn't interested in going with Luke until the sudden convenient R2 electronics showed up to distract him from his emotions. Jon Favreau can simply not contain his lust for promotional post-credit sequences, damn it. Finnick just walked right over to that trap door, and even if they haven't replaced the Rancor, that's still not an optimal spot to stand, as Boba well knows. Boba the Hutt.
What is your quest?
Why ain't so bad? Yeah, look! Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy? You're just a stupid fool. Maybe you can kill him.
Finish him! Easy with that face of meat. Oops. A wet one. I hope I didn't stain my underwear.
You're making a terrible mistake I'm not gonna let you make.
Come on, guys. Nobody wants this. We're supposed to be professionals.
Surprise, Sydney. You!
Good people who have traveled from villages near and far, lend me your ears. That's disgusting.
Why are my drippings with goo?
Pan down from the twin sons of Tatooine after a beat, the gloved Mandalorian armor gauntlet of Boba Fett grabs onto the sand outside the Sarlacc pit, and we realize that he survived his fall during the battle at Jabba's palace ship.
Just so everyone knows, it's one down for
One down!
Don't drink any more of that boba. It can clog up your intestines.
I thought honouring one's word was a part of the Mandalorian code. I guess those are just stories for children.
Girl, the shade of it all.
Walking in the window in the land.
Leroy Dragons!
Almost there. Almost there.
Almost there. Almost there.
Like a glove!
Can you
You've been captain of the Black Pearl for 13 years.
Technically, I was only captain for 2 years. Then I was viciously mutinied upon.
Then you were a poor captain, but a captain nonetheless.
You killed my brother. Prepare to die. Now, I'm gonna kill your pet.
And your little dog, too.
Happy birthday! Hey, I said my first words.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I am Groot.
That's right.
I am Groot.
No! No, that's the button that will kill everyone!
Show me the red wire.
Red wire, blue wire, black is usually the ground. So much pressure.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
You son of a bitch.
I'll get my best people on it.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
I can't be happy here knowing that there's people out there who have nothing.
What would you have Wakanda do about it?
Dad here watched Empire and Jedi last week, and ever since he's been trying to do the Jedi mind trick.
Attention, Earthlings! Take me to your dealer!
They fly now?
But let me assure you this. My presence will be ornamental. You will find me a respectful, quiet, passive observer.
Run for your lives! Everyone run for cover! Run away! Run away! Run away! Hello!
Hello? Who is it?
It is King Arthur. Whose castle is this?
This is the castle of my master, Guido Luamba.
Oysters, clams, and cockles!
Help us.
Help me!
I have a proposition that may interest you.
Suppose I were to offer you $1 million.
You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Execute them. Bogus.
We'll handle this.
Why, Johnny Ringo. You look like somebody just walked over your grave.
I didn't finish the job.
No. But sometimes, in the heat of the moment, it's forgivable to go ass to mouth.
I shall not forget you. How brave you are to be alone in the woods.
Dink ferret.
Language.
I'll see if I can buy you some time. Can you please hurry up?
I'm trying to use the phone!
You were dead.
Your friend here is only mostly dead. There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
You couldn't handle my midriff.
Okay, I'm gonna protect you.
Okay, I'm going. Take off. See ya.
Dang it.
The damage is not too bad. As long as the foundations are still strong, we can rebuild this place. It will become a haven for all peoples and aliens of the universe.
You're not ready to play with such things.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
You just took one in the jugular, man.
This isn't so bad, huh? Making bucks, getting exercise, working outside.
Nay.
What did Miggs say to you? Multiple Miggs in the next cell.
He said, I can smell your
I see. I myself cannot.
You gonna tell me where you're taking me?
There's some lovely filth down here!
Not gonna need long inside, so once I get the coordinates, you guys gotta get me the hell out of there.
You get to the roof. I'll drop in and pull you out.
There's a plan in everything, kid. And I love it when a plan comes together.
Wish I could say it looked good on you, but I'd be lying.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
But you couldn't drive. Of course I can drive. Why does everyone say that? I used to drive.
I don't know how you people wear those things.
What do you mean, you people?
Get down.
What's your name, officer?
My name is Jeff.
There's a special rung in hell reserved for people who waste good scotch. Seeing as I may be rapping on the door momentarily, I must say, damn good stuff, sir.
I regret nothing!
Soon, he will be back with me.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Scotty, put the ship's phasers on stun.
You want to know what else I saw?
I watched Jane die.
It's terrible. I'm gonna have permanent hearing damage. Let me see it.
I don't bargain.
New York City!
Easy there, little one.
You'll be talking through the window of a Bacta tank.
All right, easy. Save it for the imps.
Being back in the yard, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, just like it. Nobody backing down, nothing.
If we had shown half that spine to the Empire, we would have never lost our planet.
Sorry, you see what I mean? I just get carried away.
No! No!
Go to sleep.
Where is this going?
This is where it's going.
All up in your ass.
Megatron, do you yield?
Looking? Found someone you have, I would say, hmm?